So we're at Superbooth with Alex from CFM with a new product. Alex, can you introduce it? Tell us who you are, and then we'll check the product out.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Alex from CFM, and I've got my new wave folder, which is called the VQM, which stands for Variable Quartile Multiplier, because I'll show you in a second. It's basically a wave shaper that gives you control over the gradient and the folding point that you are folding at, and that in 4 stages. All of them are linkable, and you can, it's very versatile. You can do lots with it.
Well, let's check it out.
Yeah. So at the moment we've just got it plugged into one channel. At the top you have dual stack knobs. So it's the lower knob is the control, and the upper knob is the CV attenuation.
So you've got, just in case that isn't coming on camera, you've got dual pots, a bit like a sort of stacked tone pot on a guitar.
Exactly. So we're just feeding it a triangle wave, which you can see here. It's just a normal triangle wave coming from the XR22 VCO. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a voltage on that signal to fold it around. So you can fold positively or negatively around that point, or both with CV. So I could start modulating it with an oscillator.
So that's not folding the peak of the wave back on itself. You're folding on any point within that slope.
Exactly. You're not amplifying the wave above a certain threshold. You're choosing the threshold at which you wish to fold. So, and you can do that either in the positive domain or the negative domain, or both. So I could say I only want the top to be folded, or I only want the bottom to be folded, or I want both.
So asymmetrical folding, or both, at a point that you choose.
Yeah. And the level, like the gradient of that folding, can be chosen as well. And that can be, because you can modulate that section in audio rate.
So the audio rate folding gives a ring modulation. Is it ring modulation? Is it a ring modulation effect?
Well, ring modulation.
It sounds like ring modulation.
It's ring modulation from a certain point in the wave. So here it's not ring modulating, and then when you get to that level, then it'll start ring modulating it, and then it'll stop again. Because ring modulation would just be if the fold point was a 0. That would be ring modulation. But because you're choosing the point at which it starts modulating.
So again, because that's either at the top of the wave, positive or negative, you can just ring modulate the peak or the trough of one wave,
or the top half, and the good thing about that is you keep if you're using a very low tone, you can keep that low tone and then have the ring modulation in there as well. So
we were discussing this yesterday with someone else. So with the ring modulation and the extra harmonics, you lose that weight of the fundamental and often have to mix it back in.
And with this, you keep that fundamental, because you still have the fundamental part of it. It's just the little sections that are modulating.
Brilliant. And so there's 4 of these. How does it work in terms of...
Cascade them all together with the link switch. So if I link the 2 of them together and take the second output, then I can choose another fold point to fold around. So say if I wanted this one to be negative, I'll just take the FM off just to... so you can see what's going on. So now I can modulate, for example, just the lower part while the top part is independent, or I can modulate both on top of what's going on.
Top of the processing already on the first channel, and that works 4 times over.
Yeah.
So will they link in terms of the first and the second channel and then come out, and then you could use the third and the fourth, or does it?
So you could use 2 channels twice and have a stereo wave folding, or you could use
a single channel, or chain 3 together, or 4 independent.
VCA. You could use 3 as folding. You could use it. You leave, if you don't want to do any wave folding, you could just leave them all chained together and only use them. Set the fold point way out of the range and use them as a mixer.
So
or as VB,
super wave shaper, essentially.
Yeah, you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for running it down.
Thanks.